Yeah.
And he's trying to come into the communities of South Asia Maplewood. Well, we're going to be talking
glorious community, yes.
Well, we're going to be talking about that tonight,
Yes,
because when you talk about South Asia Maplewood, you talk about diversity all the time, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah,
And the trees, of course.
we always throw that word out, man. Diversity, diversity, diversity. You know, but we're gonna be Mr. Mike White is gonna be with us all night tonight, and he's gonna be giving us information about this program. You know, I mean, anytime I hear a program for urban youths, I'm actually enthusiastic and interested.
Yeah, enthusiastic.
Yeah, I'm always enthusiastic and interested. You know, in such a program.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
we're going to get to that. Let's get to some local news.
There's lots of education news for whatever that's worth. You start out. What's the main story here locally that you're interested in?
Maplewood approves Ramos as superintendent.
Yeah, well, here we are in education news.
Yeah, we have a new superintendent again. Another new superintendent. But, you know, whenever a new superintendent starts, people are always enthusiastic. I just use that word.
This is the word of the night?
That's the word of the night. Enthusiastic. We have enthusiasm. People have a lot of enthusiasm, and they say that, you know, Dr. Ramos is going to bring, you know, some enlightenment.
Where did you see that from?
Oh, I just made that.
Oh, they don't put stuff in this, guys.
I just made that. But anyway, according to the Village Green, the South Orange Maplewood Board of Education officially approved an agreement with Dr. John Ramos to become the district next superintendent for a period from August 1st, 2015 to June 30th, 2020. That means to say that he's signing a 5-year contract, and if he's fired, let go, anything like that.
We don't let go of people. They just leave us.
Yeah, sometimes they fire them.
Yeah,
And
or
if they get
pressure
fired,
to get out. That's
or
right.
they get
like
pressure. Then you got to pay them the rest of their money.
That's right.
You remember when Rainier Pollack, when they got rid, when you Marjorie, was instrumental in getting rid of Dr.
Just trying to help a movement grow. That's all. So, you know, we're not going to talk about. This is how I met Anselm back in that time.
And by the way, I was on the other side of that fence.
Yes, you were on the wrong side of that fence.
Well, I was on the right side.
Right, as in conservative.
No,
correct side.
Because they kept her.
Yeah, because they had to. I mean, well, we're not going to talk about Renee right now. I don't want to. Let's stay.
We're talking about
the board unanimously approved the measure at its meeting on Monday. Marion Robb, a member of South Orange Maplewood Parents for Quality Education, told the board.
You know what that group is?
No, I've never heard of it.
I get Facebook posts from that group all the time.
Well, we need to add them. Are they added to your post, or are they put on Somar's?
No, they send me posts. I get Facebook posts from them all the time. So
I wonder if these are, well, we'll figure that out. I mean, we could click on that link and see who they are. Told the board she had serious concerns about the hiring of Ramos and the lack of transparency in the selection process. This came in as a done deal, said Rob. She asked Board of Ed President Eastman if Ramos' contract will be made public before it's finalized. I think we could have done better.
What does she mean by that?
Maybe because they don't like the controversy or his past, history. They don't like that.
You sure that's what you think? That's what it is?
Well, I mean, we could. What you did when you Googled the guy the first night we found out who he was. He did have an interesting story. Where was he in Connecticut?
Connecticut, yeah.
Hartford, no.
Yeah, he was
Bridgeport, one of those towns.
He was in different places in Connecticut.
And somehow was unable to turn that district around. And
we didn't know that though.
That was the impression that I got. So he gave up. The way the article read, from what I recall, was that he was unable to turn the district around and he was ready to turn it over to the state. And they didn't really want that because I guess they felt they couldn't get anything done.
Well, in this situation, I'm using the word opportunity.
That WIN program, what an opportunity. At any rate, we'll talk about that in a minute. Dr. Ramos' contract is available to any member of the public who contacts our business administrator, Cheryl Snyder, and follows a simple set of procedures, said Eastman in an email on Wednesday. As a result of the superintendent's salary cap that's now in effect in New Jersey, Ramos is getting significantly a lower salary for us than he received as a superintendent in Connecticut. So he's coming in at a lower pay. So I guess he's really here to help us.
No, well, he's coming in at the pay that the maximum pay that the state say you can pay, which is $177,500.
Yes, but it's lower than he received as the superintendent.
Yeah, well, they can't pay him any higher than.
Yes, but we could say, listen, I'm not taking that job. I made more in Connecticut.
Yeah, he didn't have another job.
We are happy to be having Dr. Ramos come to South Orange Maplewood in August for many reasons. One of them is that he's shown his dedication from the beginning by being ready and willing to work for less than he received in the past. What do you think of that? Does that so? If I take a job for $30,000, that means I'm just here because I'm willing. I'm ready and willing, and you know, I have a mission or a purpose, or.
Well, I mean, I can't get into his head to figure out what he's thinking, but if that's what he said, we got to believe him. I think this guy's going to do good in this community.
Oh, Anselm. You know, Anselm's going to be bashing this guy in about, I could see, November 1st. Something is going to bother you.
But I got to give him the opportunity first.
Okay.
Before I bash him like these other people. You know, they just come on and do this. They're kind of clueless about, you know, what his track record is. And they want to bash him. You know, I think it might have something to do with the last name as well.
Oh, come on, really? Well,
yeah.
Really, you really feel that way?
Yeah. Did you see what happened at the Board of Education the other night?
I saw the Board of Education took way too long. I had to leave it. That made me angry.
But weren't you there the night when that other coach, when they had problems with that other coach?
Yes.
With the bullying?
Yes.
And all the parents were complaining?
Right.
And he kept his job?
Yeah.
And then this other young man, a black man, he's a coach of the lacrosse team. And what they said he does was nowhere close to being as egregious as what the baseball coach did. And the baseball coach kept his job. And that young man was fired without due process. Sad. That's why we have OCR here in South Orange and Maplewood School District.
Oh, you think the OCR is going to recognize disputes, labor disputes, as far as...
That's not a labor dispute.
How do you figure that?
You remember that? Remember when we talk about teaching tolerance? Remember that?
I'm listening, Greg. I'm trying to
and they talked
where this is
about
going.
Institutional racism.
And we believe this is a case of
well,
institutional racism.
I'm not saying it is, but if you know, there's one cap that fit one other person on a different cap that fit another person. If you give one coach due process, how come you don't give the other coach the same due process?
I don't know.
Okay. So what's the next news story?
I mean, you know, I don't know. I listen.
What's the next news story?
You know, I hate to say it, but you know, when it comes to sports, I'm not really listening.
No, but Margie, forget about the sports part of it.
Okay. Right.
Don't think about it as the sports part. Just think about the policy and procedures of the school district. Due process. I think everybody deserves due process. Due process means to say that, you know, if the board is going to make a decision, at least they're going to get information. They're going to get information from witnesses, eyewitnesses who was there. Mm-hmm. They're going to get information from players on the team, just as they did for the baseball coach. And in this situation, they did not do that. They did not. Because I spoke, as a matter of fact, it's funny. The coach went to school with my son, Columbia High School. He says, you Malcolm's dad. I'm like, I can't remember him. You know,
can't remember anybody referring to somebody's dad.
I was like, really? He said, yeah. Malcolm. Yeah, Malcolm was a good friend. I was like, okay. So the young man, based on what the player said, it appears that the young man instilled good character in the players and make them not just better men on the lacrosse field, but also off the field. And at Columbia, we have maybe two other, and I call it like it is, plain talk, bad manners, two other black coaches. That's Lisa Morgan, right? The basketball coach is also a black coach, and the cross-country coach. Oh, and the girls basketball team, Joanna Wright's daughter. Mm-hmm. She's the coach of the basketball team. But other than that, you know, there is no others. And I think all the people are asking for is due process, and due process wasn't given to this young man. But anyway,
yes,
you have this young lady who's running for the Mayport Township Committee, Nancy Adams, and she said, "I'll take a fresh, independent look at the post office plans." The U.S. Post Office has a long 50-year lease for the land on which they built the building that stands today. Over the last 15 years, volunteers, activists, and the township tried to get the post office to open a satellite post office in the village and move its distribution operation to the industrial section of Mayport or to Springfield Avenue to no avail. The full postal operation in the village took up precious parking spaces and tied up traffic. I'm glad that these operations are no longer at this location. And I must tell you, do you see all the signs that's popping up all over?
Yes, I see them.
That's Fred Profeta. And when Fred Profeta gets on board, things happen. And she said, in sum, I'm supportive of good mixed-use residential development that benefits Mayport and believes that closing the full post office operation is good for the town. But I can't support or oppose plans that I haven't seen. Oh my God. I like the way these people double speak, man. All these cell phones going on.
Yeah.
But I can't support or oppose plans that I haven't seen and the details of which I don't know. What I can do is pledge to residents that I'll take a fresh and independent look at all of the plans and make a decision that I believe is right for our town's long-term future. That's Nancy Adams.
Friend of mine
giving us double speak. It's double speak. Plain talk, bad manners. I tell you that. Mayport sewer fees to increase by $9 per household.
I haven't paid those in a long time.
Yeah, we're gonna pay more. We always pay more in this community, right?
Yeah.
And then Adams spurs Mayport TC to draft resolution opposing New Jersey Transit increases. So she's already working. After Township candidate Nancy Adams appealed to the Township Committee on Tuesday, April 21st, asking them to formally oppose the proposed New Jersey Transit rate increase, TC members agreed to draft a resolution. While speaking to the TC during the public comments, Adams noted that the New Jersey Transit proposal also decreases services to some areas while increasing fees. So what else is new?
What about, I'm looking at this article, Ackerson. So Ackerson is the other person that is running for village president. Is that the name?
No. From South Orange?
Yeah.
No, it's not Ackerson. It's not Tyler. You sure? No, I don't think it's Ackerson. I'll tell you who it is. She's running for Emily Haynes.
Emily.
Yeah, she's running for village president with Sheena Collum.
I met
of South
Sheena the other day.
But Sheena is more popular.
And she's been around a while. And she's really smart. I listened to her.
Well, she went to Seton Hall. I graduated from Seton Hall too.
Oh my God!
So,
and she has a master's in public administration. So do I. Ooh, jeez, Anselm.
What you don't
know? I mean, so what? She went to Seton Hall.
I was just saying she did.
Okay, that's right.
That was factual. I didn't make it up.
Anyway, Ackerson, South Orange should foster smart growth in Seton Village. This is about these big buildings that they're going to build behind your friend's house. The many concerns being raised about the recent adopted resolution, which established the entire township an area in need of rehabilitation, are important, and the township's response is informative. Residents are right to be concerned, and the township should do what is necessary to address those concerns. Under this new resolution, any new development proposal is reviewed in relationship the master plan, and all additional controls are meant to extend control beyond existing zoning. Therefore, in order for this resolution to be successfully implemented, a master plan and zoning ordinance that the township fully supports must be in place.
They're getting a pilot?
Yes, they are going to get a pilot. And they explained why they're giving everyone pilots. Which is still not acceptable, but when people say it, you just sort of like, okay, but it's really not acceptable.
How come the residents don't get pilots?
Because they're not taking property and rehabilitating it.
No, how come we don't get pilots like, pilots?
Oh, and I understand like that on 3rd and Valley, they will have 10% of the units of